Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and these are some of the manga and manhwa releases for the second half of May. We're going to start with the Kodansha releases, Pt.2 Volume 3. This is the final volume of the series, so go read it to find out what happens as werewolves and vampires prepare for war. Go-Go Loser Ranger Volume 13. The Dragon Rangers are down. The great monster Deathmechia's invasion has reached the town. O's classmates scramble to band together to protect the citizens from the monsters. Volume 5 of Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan. Uramichi's television hosting endeavours call him to new parts of the studio, including the set of Pika What?, where he meets the ambitious Nancy and the show's brand new mascot with a secret behind its dopey smile. Off the set, he continues to contend with the fallout of his contribution to Bunny Bear Theatre. Origin Volume 10. Can Origin find a way to defeat the most powerful being in the world in this final volume of the series? Volume 13, A Condition Called Love. Hana Noikun and Hotaru have only grown closer after overcoming their first real fight. And then, during a New Year's Eve date, Hotaru says, "I don't want to go home tonight." Hana Noikun is shocked at first, but it seems she has a legitimate reason. Nothing will be the same as the two ring in the new year together, with big changes in store for Hotaru's life. Honeko Akabane's Bodyguards Volume 3. All the students in Class 3-4 of Sosoji High School are Honoke Akabane's bodyguards, and as one of them, Arakuni Ibuki's job is to find the traitor hiding in the class. Arakuni is protecting Honoko, while searching for clues about the traitor during the school trip, but in his room at the hotel, he encounters a drunk Masachika who shouldn't even be in Kyoto with them. Magus of the Library Volume 8. Chaos reigns as a gigantic, unknown spirit descends upon Avtsak. It soon becomes clear that the creature does not act of its own accord, thanks to an artifact whose very existence is forbidden, the Loop of Servitude. The Central Library, consumed by the thought of any attack on the creature turning into a religious calamity, finds itself at a standstill. Shimazaki in the Land of Peace Volume 4. Former covert operative Shingo Shimazaki has finally found an oasis of peace in his native Japan, but the League for Economic Liberation is hot on his trail, determined to drag the deserter back into their blood-soaked world. Despite his determination to renounce violence, Shimazaki will do whatever it takes to protect the ones he loves. A new series called Spacewalking with You. Kobayashi just can't focus, not on studying, not on work, and the adults in his life think he's in danger of becoming a worthless dropout. Then, one day, a strange new presence arrives in his class, an energetic and naive kid named Uno. Kobayashi saves Uno from getting scammed, and that close encounter launches a new friendship. Uno's definitely a space cadet, but Kobayashi can't help admiring the way he floats through life, and before he knows it, he might start feeling his feet lift off the ground too. The Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride Volume 2. Yako, enchanted by Nanao's beauty and the mysterious power that lies within her, takes Nanao in as his wife, and Nanao leaves her torturous life behind her as she moves to live with Yako in the imperial capital. But Nanao soon learns that Yako has scars of his own. Volume 13 of Vampire Dormitory. To prove herself worthy as Ruka's bride, newly turned vampire Mito has taken on intense training at an academy for demi-humans to control her bloodthirst. Having been physically transformed into a boy to attend the all-boys school for her own safety, her next challenge is to keep her composure, even when her classmates are turned into girls by the principal's magic. If she fails, graduating and staying married to Ruka will be out of reach. Vinland Saga Volume 14. The new world that Thorfinn dreamed of, a world without war or slavery, seems within reach. Yet history is a tide that too often sweeps away individuals with good intentions, and there are those among the new who believe that continued toleration of these newcomers will end in disaster, and some among the Norsemen who still hold on to a belief in physical force as a first, not last resort. Moving on to Yempress, A Business Proposal Volume 9. Shortly after Harry and Teimu's marriage, Yoongsu and Sunghoon successfully tie the knot, The happy couple and everyone around them are overjoyed, except one person. Though Hamin wishes nothing but the best for Young-soo, seeing his longtime crush marry another man is a bitter pill to swallow, but unbeknownst to him, Hamin's own love story might be just around the corner. Volume 2, Kill the Villainess. Eris Myserion finally gathers the courage to admit to the High Priest Hubris that she is not of this world. It's here that she learns the uncomfortable truth. She cannot return to her own world without dying. Refusing to accept this as her only path out, the headstrong Eris begins to search for alternate ways to escape her cruel destiny, while still doing her best to maintain the part of a proper lady. In the meantime, she must gather allies to avoid the death that lays before her in the story, and a personal knight may be a crucial piece to execute her plans. A new series called Murderous Llewellyn's Candlelit Dinner. A string of murders has left the residents of Era Street feeling uneasy, although that's none of Chavon's business. The penniless author is too busy trying to secure his next paycheck to pay much attention to such matters. Well, that and figuring out what the deal is with his strange new neighbour, Llewellyn, a young and handsome man who spends his days peeling onions on the stairs right outside Chavon's apartment. Chavon tries not to concern himself, but when he makes a gruesome discovery during a candlelit dinner at Llewellyn's place, both his neighbour's eccentricities and the murders plaguing the community become harder to ignore. Solo Leveling Volume 12. Jinwoo faces off against the monarchs for the first time, and while he's undeniably the strongest hunter in the world, 3 otherworldly beings prove to be too much for him. But as Jinwoo is about to find out, death means little to the Shadow Monarch, King of the Dead. Volume 4, The Perks of Being an S-Class Heroine. 2 years have passed since the dungeon sink at the Vatican, and Eilert has been training diligently to become a powerful saint, swordsmaster and business tycoon, and she's not the only one. Teslid is now an active member of the Vatican, despite his growing doubts about the church and the strict order and goodness. But for all their preparations, will the two be ready to face the tragedy that is sure to come? A new series called The Villainess is a Marionette. Kienna Hill, the imperial princess and most beautiful rose of the empire, and the novel's villainess, used as a pawn in her brother's schemes and left to die. Except this isn't just some novel to her, not when she already lived her first life as the foolish Kienna herself. When she wakes up as Kienna Hill once more in her third life, she is now armed with the knowledge of how her dreadful future unfolds. In order to rewrite her story and win her freedom, she must learn to puppet the puppeteer. This time, she'll be the one pulling the strings. The Villainess Turns the Hourglass Volume 7. Arya should now be enjoying the peace and satisfaction that comes with taking revenge. After all, her family has welcomed her with open arms and she's officially engaged to Lord Asher, but years of living as a villainess has taken a toll, and Arya is unsure of what to make of this sudden outpouring of love. Not to mention, when an unexpected visitor knocks on her door, it seems that she's still far from achieving her happy ending. The World After the Fall Volume 10. When Jae-wan spots an old friend he never expected to see again getting dragged away, his next goal instantly becomes clear: rescue Young-wan no matter what it takes. His desperate search leads him to Metaverse, a nightmare tower designed only to provide depraved entertainment to the gods of Abyss. Unholy Blood Volume 6. Johan has big plans for world domination, and success means everyone Hyan and Aente love will be turned into mindless vampires. It's up to the partners in crime to stop him, with the help of an unlikely ally. Angel of Death, Vale, has his own reasons for playing the double agent, but his hot and cold signals make it difficult to discern whether he can be fully trusted. A Certain Magical Index Volume 30. With the overwhelming power of the Cortana original in hand, Princess Carissa is unstoppable. Toma scrambles to stop her coup d'etat, but to face her unyielding might, he'll first have to find some allies. A new series called A Witch's Life in Mongol. The time, 13th century. The place, Yeke Mongol Ulus, the greatest empire the world has ever known. The woman, Fatima, hailing from Persia, where medical technique and scientific knowledge have been perfected beyond all precedent. Fatima's desire for a stage where she can put her knowledge to work has brought her to the palace of the Mongols, where she falls under the wing of Toragene, the sixth wife of Ogede, the second Great Khan, a mighty woman with complicated feelings about the direction of the empire. These two women are the axle upon which the politics of the palace, and soon the very world, will turn. Akko and Bambi Volume 5. At long last, Akko and Yamashiro meet. Torn apart by Yamashiro's hatred of the parts of herself that make up Akko, is there any chance they'll ever reconcile, especially when the origin of Yamashiro's breakdown crashes their reunion? Black Summoner Volume 5. After Kelvin's party gains its newest member, Rion, a hero summoned from Earth, they all head for the Forest of Crests, arriving just in time to intercept an entire Tricernian force. To make matters worse, they then encounter the despicable and depraved Clive, who possesses power on par with Kelvin's. Bungo Stray Dogs Volume 25. All hope seemed lost as the world teeters on the brink. With the forces of the agency scattered and one order in the hands of Fukuchi, can Fukuzawa rise to his feet to strike down his dearest friend once and for all? Cheerful Amnesia Volume 6. See how it all ends for Arisa and Mari in this final volume. Clamp Premium Collection Tokyo Babylon Volume 7. This is also the last volume of the series, and I have to say I love the cover art. Doodles by Ryoko Kui, Daydream Hour. From the author of Delicious in Dungeon comes a compilation of artwork drawn over the course of the hit series creation. Featuring hundreds of pages of comics, sketches and full-colour illustrations, this gorgeous collection will help you discover new sides to your favourite characters as they're depicted in situations you've never seen before. Everyone's Darling Has a Secret Volume 2. Hisashi Hiruno, a first year at an elite high school, has accidentally ended up helping Rei Kuromiya, a real pop idol, with her studies after school, but as they prepare for their next exam, they start spending more and more time alone together, and Kuromiya's feelings begin to change. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, Volume 3. After losing his sword in a deadly battle against Zeno Grable, Beryl reunites with his former apprentice Baldur, who has become a blacksmith. Baldur was asked by Serena to forge a new sword for Beryl from the felled beast's talons, and while Beryl initially declines the offer, he is moved by Baldur's enthusiasm and decides to accept the sword. Horror Collector. The internet is full of cryptid sightings, tales of paranormal activity, and unsolved disappearances. Most are just rumours and pranks fueled by trolls. Entertainment. But an unlucky few learn the hard way that some legends are true. Many of these unfortunate souls are doomed, but their luck may change if they cross paths with the boy in the red hood. He roams from town to town and appears wherever strange things occur. Is he a light in the dark, or living proof that monsters are all too real? A new series called Kindergarten Wars. Rita is Convict 999, a former legendary assassin who now works at a kindergarten for the children of world leaders. Her job is to protect the school children from the clutches of would-be assassins sent after them, but even with her overwhelming strength, Rita has a weakness. She's head over heels for good-looking men. Miss Savage Fang Volume 3. This is the final volume of the series, so go read it to find out how it all ends. Volume 3 of Pink and Habanero. Mugi has kept Kurose's secret long enough that now she is part of it. Kurose has asked her to take a part-time job of her own and help out at the cosplay cafe, where he secretly works after school. That means she gets to enjoy seeing the usually curt Kurose working in his gallant night mode, but when the shift is over, it's right back to friction and fighting for Mugi and Kurose. Or is it? Shy Volume 10. After a call from Spirit brings Shy to the spaceship, Shy equips the ring that Mai left behind for her. Just then, she is enveloped in a gust of wind and her appearance changes. Stardust Family. In a world set in the future, children hold the authority to determine who may become parents. Having children is illegal unless a couple first passes a strict examination, conducted by a child that certifies them as capable providers. It is a veritable utopia with no child abuse, or at least so it may seem. Hikari is one such examiner in this system, spending his days evaluating prospective parents, but one day he comes across a couple that isn't quite like the others. Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale Volume 2. Monsters from SAO keep appearing one after another in ordinal scale, a new and popular AR game. Though Asuna and her friends have a feeling something is wrong, they actively participate in these mysterious boss battles. Little do they know, a huge conspiracy is already in motion. Takahashi from the Bike Shop Volume 2. 30-year-old Hano Tomoko, or Panko for short, is troubled by her inability to voice her true feelings, whether it's at work or in private. Ever since she and Ryohei, the kind-hearted delinquent, first kissed, they've been spending more time together. But does that mean they're dating? Yamamoto, a colleague that previously asked Panko out on a date, wonders if that delinquent is just taking advantage of her, bringing up the last thing she wants to hear from him at that moment. A new series called The BS Situation of Togetsu Umidori. One day, Togetsu Umidori suddenly receives a mysterious request from Nara Yoshino, a classmate of hers she is rather close with. Little does she know, however, that this is only the beginning of a series of bizarre events. Soon after, an enigmatic girl in a cat hoodie shows up at Umidori's house, calling herself BS. Thanks to her, all manner of strange things happen, including toilet borrowing, betrayal, threats, a grapple for freedom, and finally a desperate plea for mercy. Once everything is over, this strange new girl asks, "Hey, will you kill the lies with me?" And without knowing why, Umidori joins in her quest. This Monster Wants to Eat Me Volume 4. Hinako wants to die, and Shiori wants to devour Hinako's flesh. The two of them are connected only by the promise to fulfill each other's wishes. But Hinako is gradually beginning to develop feelings for Shiori that go beyond that of predator and prey. All the while, an ominous new shadow creeps up on Hinako. To Pakicho Lonely Planet Volume 10. Upset by Uneda's confession, Fumi ends up arguing with Akatsuki and runs away from home. She goes to Goro's house, who provokes Akatsuki by asking, "Do you mind if I get serious about Fumi-chan?" When I Became a Commoner, They Broke Off Our Engagement, Volume 5. From housing conditions to mealtimes, the world of nobles and commoners is just too different. Though Anna is slowly but surely getting accustomed to her new life, she can't help but think about those from her former time as a noble, so imagine her surprise when she unexpectedly bumps into a familiar face. Oshinoko Volume 10. Ruby's cosplay feature on an internet TV variety show has triggered some serious flaming due to the lack of consideration for the featured cosplayers during interviews. Meanwhile, Aqua is closing in on the truth behind Ai's murder. After God Volume 4. This is from Viz Media. The snake god who kidnapped Yoriko and took the form of her fiancé, Minami, has begun drawing the attention of other gods. With all eyes now on him and the Institute, what fresh horrors will the god's newfound scrutiny spell for the human researchers? A new series called Cosmos. Katie's search for a missing classmate leads to the shocking discovery that his friend is actually an alien in a human flesh suit. Grateful for Katie's help with her case, ruthless insurance investigator Rin headhunts him. Katie's job interview leads to an epic battle on a commuter train, alien treachery, and a hidden spaceship. But before he can decide whether to accept the position or not, Katie discovers another alien hidden in plain sight, one with a tragic story to share. Hirayasumi Volume 5. A whole year has passed since Hiroto and his cousin Natsumi began living together. But even with the beautiful cherry blossoms blooming around them, Hiroto can't help but feel worried about his friend Hideki, because while Hideki claims to have mastered the perfect balance between his career and new responsibilities as a father, Hiroto has a sneaking suspicion that things are much worse than his friend is letting on. Hunter x Hunter 3-in-1 Edition Volume 2. After narrowly escaping the traps and trials awaiting them on Zevil Island, Gon and his friends approach the end of their exams, but there's no time to celebrate. The final phase is a series of one-on-one battles. The winner of each round automatically passes the Hunter exam, and the defeated must continue competing against each other. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 26. The battle between the two strongest sorcerers, Gojo and Sukuna, unfolds on a mind-blowing scale. The combatants repeatedly open their domains and repair burnt-out curse techniques. Their back-and-forth clash continues, but when Sukuna summons Mahoraga, will the balance of power tip his way? Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt Volume 23. Even though Sojo Levanfu's assault force has captured the Solar Rays Command Center, there's no stopping the countdown to the massive weapon being fired. On board the Big Zam, Carla Mitchum has completely lost herself in the madness of the incessant carnage all around her. Mujina Into the Deep Volume 2. Ubume used to be one of the best assassins in Tokyo, but now that she's 30, life is starting to catch up with her. After getting gravely wounded by an upstart influencer in what should have been a standard battle, she's prepared for the worst, but instead of getting an undignified death, Ubume somehow ends up in possession of a teenage girl, a really nice place to crash, and a major grump of a roommate with a secret weakness for found family. Her reputation as a Mujina might be in tatters, but she knows how to fix that. At sword point. Trillion Game Volume 5. In his quest to build a media empire, Haru delves deep into the core of the entertainment business. Meanwhile, Gaku's drive to develop a game seems to be smooth sailing with the addition of Hebijima, the genius game developer, but can they iron out all the bugs? A new series called Astro Baby. The remote town of North Hill was devastated by a mysterious disease that originated from a fallen meteorite. The parasitic infestation known as Cooper disease turned the residents into cannibals, forcing the town into lockdown to prevent the disease from spreading. 6 years later, young Billy returns to his hometown of North Hill as a soldier full of hopes. He runs into his childhood crush Eleanor, who is about to have a baby she expects to raise on her own. Although Eleanor's happy to see Billy, their reunion is cut short by a second, unexpected meteorite that comes crashing into the hospital where Eleanor's in labour. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. Riders from around the world gather in the Wild West for the race of the century. Johnny Joestar, a former jockey paralysed from the waist down, comes to spectate and momentarily regains the ability to walk while watching a duel fought by Gyro Zeppeli. Desperate to learn more about his power, Johnny joins the race alongside Gyro and embarks on the most epic and bizarre race to ever cross the American frontier. The Art of the Boy and the Heron. This art book is filled with hundreds of pieces of concept art, storyboards, character designs, backgrounds, key animation, and more that illuminate the inventive vision of acclaimed director Miyazaki. It also features commentary and interviews from the team that shaped this film. Readers will gain insight into the extensive production process and the painstaking work that went into the creation of this film. From Seven Seas Entertainment, Blood Night Market Volume 3. The Blood Night Market is where vampires buy blood from any humans brave enough to sell. Sotetsu has the lowest ranked blood type and figured it would go largely unwanted, but his blood contract with the vampire gastronomist Mozu has not only put both his diet and his body under Mozu's control, it's made him a target of the vampire criminal underworld. A new series called Adored by an Elite Officer, Could This Be Love? Nagiko's life gets hit by a double whammy. Her job's gone under, and her longtime boyfriend just called it quits. Feeling adrift, she reconnects with her childhood friend, the dashing Kohei, but what begins as a casual reunion takes a jaw-dropping turn when Kohei unexpectedly proposes marriage. Choking on Love Volume 2. In the short time Hibari has spent with Gaku, she's done everything she can to keep from being swept off her feet by the uninhibited young musician. But all that goes out the window after she plants a drunken kiss on Gaku that he is determined to not let her forget. Hibari isn't sure she can slow things down, or if she even wants to. Home Sweet Home Volume 2. Now that Moemi has realised she has feelings for her handsome senpai, Hiragi, things at home have become even more awkward for her. Not only that, but when Hiragi's ex-girlfriend comes back into the picture, she attempts to rekindle their romance. A Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch Volume 5. This is the final volume of the series, so go check it out to see how it all ends for Jean. Loving Moondog Volume 2. Akira is a handsome man who just so happens to turn into a handsome dog. And it's the only reason that Rika, a dog groomer, will let him live with her. But when her co-worker Saki suddenly visits, Rika panics. Saki's brought something for Rika and her new pet, but will she figure out Akira's secret? It takes more than a pretty face to fall in love Volume 2. To prevent pretty boy influencer Kanato Senpai from being expelled, Sana took over managing their school's official social media account. As she keeps her eye on this self-conscious, jaded boy, Sana starts wondering what she feels for him. I'm in Love with the Villainess Volume 8. In order to ensure her child, Yu, had the right to ascend the throne, Queen Riche used magic to change Yu's gender from a girl to a boy as a baby. Having learned this, Rei asks her friend Misha for help setting things right. My Wife Has No Emotion Volume 8. Little Mamoru has become a force to be reckoned with in the short time he's been with Mina and Takuma. With his intelligence growing by the day, it's time he got a body to match. And a new body comes with new experiences, like playing soccer with human kids at school and learning how to eat and drink just like humans do. But will this strange and wonderful body prove to be more trouble than it's worth? A new series called I'll Forget You starting today, Senpai. Hiromi is suddenly reunited with her high school boyfriend at a professional matchmaking service, but their reunion isn't a sweet one, because he doesn't seem to remember Hiromi at all. In fact, he starts making wild accusations that make her question all her memories from back then. This sharp-tongued stranger is like an entirely different person from the guy she remembers. Is this a match doomed to fail? Time Stop Hero Volume 12. Sekai arrives at the ruins of the elf village that was once Fury's home. There he receives mysterious instructions from Shinra, keeper of all the world's secrets. After completing a trial, Sekai finds himself transported to the past. Now he must fight to return to the present and keep a terrible future from coming to pass. The Missing O Volume 2. Night after night, partner after partner, she quests for the elusive O. Meanwhile, her two roommates, Minsu and Okje, confess to not experiencing that kind of pleasure at all. But after encounters with a creepy stalker and a two-timing boyfriend, will the friends realise that maybe the search for Mr. O won't be as fun as it seems? The Elf Sisters Can't Wait for the Night Volume 2. Hoshine and Yorke have reconciled after their fight and are now on an intimate first-name basis. The second youngest elf sister, Koyui, grows jealous of their relationship and decides to make her move. Cornering him in an empty classroom, she tells Yorke to prank her as well. Reincarnated into a game as the hero's friend, running the kingdom behind the scenes, Volume 4. Saving the kingdom is hard enough, even with his memories of playing the game in which the world is based on. But Werner von Zelfeld must do it all without letting anyone know about his prescient knowledge. Cue his plans to hold a training drill nearby a fort that he knows will soon get attacked by the demons. With Mazel off on his adventure, it's the hero's best friend's time to literally hold down the fort. I quit my apprenticeship as a royal court wizard to become a magic item craftswoman, Volume 3. Just as she is settling down to merchant life in Renant, Ilya hears news of a man-eating monster plaguing a village isolated by recent disasters. Ilya and friends set off to the rescue, but are accosted by rampaging carnivorous beasts. Are these the monsters victimizing the village, or is there an even bigger menace afoot? Cutie and the Beast Volume 4. See how it all ends for Momoka in this final volume released on the 27th of May. A new series called Fairy Cat. This is a sweet and fantastical story about the world's tiniest cat and the boy it chooses to live with. A minuscule cat appears one rainy day, perched on Kanade's chair, but the moment he spots the tiny ball of fluff, it vanishes. Kanade knows fairy cats are a rare sight to behold, hiding out of reach in nooks and crannies, but now that he's seen one, he's determined to win its affection. Can Kanade coax the fairy cat out of hiding and befriend it? Moving on to the Tokyo Pop releases, A Tale's Tale Volume 3. In the aftermath of Utsumi's return and Nachi's hospitalization, the two are forced to navigate the complicated feelings of affection, abandonment, and loneliness that have drawn them together and pushed them apart. I was reincarnated as the heroine on the verge of a bad ending, and I'm determined to fall in love, Volume 4. At Julius's birthday party, Renee meets her dashing cousin Cecil, who seems to know something about Renee's buried history with Julius. While the plot thickens around Renee's mysterious past and her possible future in this Otome world, Renee tries her best to enjoy the present. Trapped by his love, The Duke's Unexpected Bride Volume 2. Described as a Cinderella-inspired fantasy romance, it is full of twists, turns, and political intrigue. Despite the strange beginnings of their engagement, Arthur is an adoring fiancé to Alice, eager to spoil her with luxurious gifts and earn her affection. but behind his charming smile and solicitous attention lies a deeper intent and focus, hints of a man who has had his eye upon Alice for far longer than he cares to admit. I can't get through the night alone. The year is 1950, Japan. Traumatized by the war, Seishiro is unable to sleep through the night. That is, until he meets Jim, a friendly American soldier stationed in Japan. Seeing the opportunity to change his life, Seishiro suggests they become a couple. Jim is smitten with Seishiro right away, seemingly oblivious to Sei's ulterior motives. At first, Seishiro only sees their relationship as a means to an end, but night after night, as he falls asleep in Jim's gentle embrace, the heart that broke on the battlefield slowly begins to heal. Imitation play. Bar manager Nagisa has been in one-sided love with his co-worker Haruma for 2 years, so when Haruma breaks up with his girlfriend, Nagisa assumes he doesn't stand a chance. And since he can't be with the one he loves, anyone else will do for the night. When Haruma stops Nagisa from going home with his hookup, Nagisa suggests they go home together instead. The last thing he expects is for Haruma to agree. The Prince is in the Villainess's Way Volume 3. The wise Princess Iris has become a tutor for warrior Princess Fiona, a younger reflection of herself in her former life. With her memories of the days ahead, Iris seeks to help cure King Granis of poisoning and prepare the kingdom for oncoming drought. Yet time is running out to save poor Fiona from the assassination yet to occur. Now more than ever, Iris must rely on her wits to prove herself to her new connections, be they the king, the people of Remulia, or Prince Alvin, the fair-haired flirt. But can she save Fiona before it's too late? From Square Enix, a new series called Love in the Palms of His Hands. Fujinagi is a university student who dreams of becoming an actor so he can do what he loves best, conveying emotion and story through physical expression. But after failing multiple auditions, his hopes are dashed and his confidence crushed. When he meets Keito, a fellow student with congenital hearing loss, Fujinaga is suddenly introduced to the world of sign language. Although clumsy at first, Fujinaga quickly picks up signing and surprises Keito with his astonishing talent of expressing emotions through action. Is it that only in a place beyond all verbal limitations can two people, both yearning to be understood, forge a bond they never expected? Those are most of the releases for the second half of May. Even though lots of series are ending, there are also a lot of new series for us to start as well, which is exciting. As always, feel free to use the code JaysManga at SciFier.com. Their discounts are fantastic anyway, but getting an extra 5% off always helps. I hope you have a fantastic manga reading month, everyone. Bye!